We might have just witnessed the last couple weeks one of the craziest off seasons so far in the MLB off season here in 2025, 2026. We just saw a contending team that paid one of the most amounts of money last season lose not just one of their top players, but two of their top players. The New York Mets lose Edwin Diaz and Pete Alonso for absolutely nothing. How do you go from a team that spent one of the most amounts of money last offseason to losing not just one, but two of your best players to absolutely nothing? You're the New York Mets. You have one of the richest owners in the league. There's no salary cap. And you lose them. We break that all down. And so much more baseball-related stuff. All related to all of this coming up next on Inside the Zone with Mateo. Roll the intro. Let's get it. Hey everybody, welcome back to Inside the Zone with Mateo. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful December so far. Happy holidays. We're about a week before Christmas here when I'm recording this. It's about December 19th, 2025. And yeah, it's been a couple crazy days these last couple of weeks for the MLB. The Baltimore Orioles, the LA Dodgers getting two top players from the Mets for basically nothing. Yeah, absolutely nothing because they were all free agents. Pete Alonso, Edwin Diaz both get signed by their other teams, and the New York Mets lose them for absolutely nothing. And we're going to break it all down here next on Inside the Zone with Mateo. So let's head over to Mateo's show, batting order presented by To Be Determined. If you wish to sponsor this segment, which I use in almost every single episode, let me know. Let me know either by sending me a DM using one of the Google Forms in the description of my channel, or I have an email in the description of my YouTube channel. So send me there and we can try to figure out something. I would love for you guys to sponsor it. And, I'm just trying to grow my channel. So if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Road to 50 subscribers, road to 100 subscribers. Try to get to 50 subscribers by the end of the year. So give me a little early Christmas present here. If you aren't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it. The show batting order, we're keeping it really simple. We're going to talk about what happened. We're going to look ahead for each team that was involved in these moves. And within looking ahead, we're going to talk about, is there even a point in playing this season? If you wish to figure out what I mean by that, stay to the end of the episode. It's going to be one of the last things we talk about. Or you could fast forward if you really wish. And then I will also give you, coming up for a schedule of what else is coming the next couple of weeks here as we finish up 2025. As I'm off school, we got a little extra energy here and way more time to give you guys podcast episodes. I'm filming a couple today, posting them for later dates. Let's go. Without further ado, what the heck happened? Well, Mets, what happened? We're going to talk about you. Mets, what happened? All right, this is what happened. If you somehow missed this, I don't know. If you're a baseball fan and you missed this, I don't know. I have no clue how you missed this. But yeah, we're gonna find that. I don't know why I don't even have it up, bro. Come on, let's go. We're super excited. I need the tracking every season. Yeah, thank you. That's exactly. I clicked the wrong link. I'm sorry. I appreciate you guys for watching though. To the AL East. There we go. Oh boy. This is what happened. All right. So, first baseman Pete Alonso and the Baltimore Orioles finalized a 5-year deal worth $155 million. And then closer Edwin Diaz day before, actually. And the Dodgers reached a 3-year agreement with $69 million included in that deal, which means the New York Mets lost two key players to free agency for absolutely nothing. I look at the Pete Alonso deal and I say you could probably have offered way more money than that. The Orioles are more of a small market team. I'm talking too fast. I'm too excited. But I really think you could have offered way more than that. And then Edwin Diaz, this like $69 million is what was the highest offer that Diaz got when Diaz is one of the best closers in the game. Mets, what the heck happened, bro? This is what I'm talking about. Like, why? Just how do you let this happen? You go from spending one of the most amounts of money in the offseason by getting Juan Soto and company. You miss the playoffs, and then you let these two guys go. And like, I don't know, like, bro, I feel so bad for these fans. Like, these fans have to go through this. I mean, you're gonna have to watch a season of Mets baseball without Alonso, without Diaz. Diaz is gonna be with the Dodgers. Alonso's gonna be with the Orioles. Both are very darn good teams. We know what the Dodgers are capable of, and we know, we also know that the Orioles could be on the verge of becoming a dynasty because they are young, they're cheap. But we'll figure out that later on. But Mets, I just don't get this. And, like, you're probably wondering, like, well, now what? Exactly. Now what for the Mets is a very good question to ask because I don't necessarily know. Is this team a contender? We're going to have to let you decide that, but we are going to figure out who the heck is on this team now. After this signing, what would the lineups look like and company? So here is the Mets depth chart right now. In your rotation, you have David Peterson, Clay Holmes, Nolan McLean, who I just recently, or I'm about to film a video of Kingdom Competitors. He's a Christian. And we take a look at his testimony, what he has to say about God and his walk with God. That is coming out on Sunday. So go ahead and turn those notification bell button on so you never miss that episode as well. Jonah Tong, Sean Mania, I think, and then Brendan Sprout are going to be the pitchers in that rotation. Most likely Peterson, if you want to say Peterson, tomato. Holmes, McLean, Tong, and Mania are going to be your probably starters, with Sprout being that sixth extra guy, either going to be the bullpen or I could see him in a way being in AAA as well. Your bullpen, you got Devin Williams, so I mean, you at least got somebody who can close games for you. You got Joey Garber, Raleigh, Rayleigh, if you want to say that, Dylan Ross. And I mean, the bullpen is definitely thin. The bullpen is very thin, and I believe you need to address this. Obviously, there's a couple months till the season starts, till spring training starts, so I bet they could probably add in a couple guys to the bullpen. But yeah, you need a couple guys in that bullpen for sure. You do have two left-handed bullpen pitchers, which I think is very, very good because you do need a balance for depending on who you're throwing the ball to. For Shohei Ohtani, you're going to face him a couple times because you are in the. Everybody plays everybody once, at least once, probably at least 3 times. He crushes right-handed pitching, and he can crush left-handed pitching, but left-handed pitching is a little bit easier to strike him out on. He hits better against righties, so you need guys like that. And lefties just bring something different because a lot of guys are right-handed, and so a lot of people take a lot of at-bats from right-handed pitchers. Left-handed pitchers maybe throw things off, and I feel like that's so important to have at least 1 or 2 guys that is left-handed in your bullpen. So that's one good thing I will say about the New York Mets. At the catcher position, you got Francisco Alvarez and Luis Torrens. which I really like this catching group. Alvarez, I need him to take another step this season, and Luis Torrens is a good backup for sure. First base, though, like, now you don't have a first baseman. Like, Mark Vientos is your starting first baseman right now. I'm pretty sure you need a different first baseman. You lose Pete Alonso, so I don't even know who's still out there in free agency. I could probably pull that up. But, like, you need somebody at first other than that dude right there. I'm trying to pull up here. We go. Contracts, free agents. There we go. But yeah, you need somebody else at first base. Second base, you did get Marcus Semien, which I thought was a very interesting move. You have Jeff McNeil, and then Batty Acuna, Marcelo, who could all play. But yeah, in a way, you could move McNeil. He has played. He's played first base a little bit, and you could have Semien as second base. I could see that happen. Batty is your third baseman. Vientos is your backup to third. And then you got Francisco Lindor as the captain of the infield, captain of that team. We know what Lindor can bring to the table. And then in the outfield, you do have Jeff McNeil technically as your starting left fielder as well. That is why he's not your starting second baseman. So, he can play in the outfield. He can play at second base. He can play. He's a really good utility player. But, right now they have him as their starting left fielder. Tyron Taylor's your starting center fielder. And then Juan Soto's your right fielder. And you can see you only really have 3 active outfielders. So that's why I do think you need a first baseman, because Vientos cannot be your first baseman if you want to compete. And then DH right now, they have that being Vientos as well. Okay. But I do think Jared Young could be a very good designated hitter. I mean, you could obviously do better. But yeah, now when you look at the bullpen, you look at first base, and there are some holes. So what guys are out there? What could they do? Well, I mean, there's some interesting guys out there. Do they have the money to bring in Alex Bregman, put him over to first base? He has played first base in his career. He's 32 years old. Would they pay a 32-year-old that much money? I don't think so. I don't think so. If you're not going to pay Pete Alonso that much money, you're not going to pay Alex Bregman, but I could be completely wrong. Cody Bellinger could go from the Yankees to the Mets. I could see that. I just doubt it. They don't really need starting pitch. I mean, everybody could use another starter, but I think you need to focus on relief pitching, in my opinion, if you're going for pitchers. Reese Hoskins could be an interesting first baseman choice. Yeah, man, Kyle Tucker's still there. That's insane. Alex Cobb, no, that's probably not. Luis Arraez. He's played a lot of first base. Yeah, I feel like maybe you try to get Luis Arraez. Kirby Yates is available. Maybe. I don't know if you want to do that. But yeah, let's sort by first base and see, Bellinger can play first. That is interesting. You could hypothetically use that. Justin Turner, Nathaniel Lowe, Goldsmith. I mean, there's a lot of old dudes. Ryan O'Hearn, I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate Ty France. I wouldn't hate Carlos Santana. Yeah, I mean, there's not as many first basemen on the market right now. These are all the first basemen on the market. I like almost all of these except maybe Cody Bellinger. So you can throw in Luis Arraez, who can play first base as well. Maybe you bring in one of those and maybe it helps you a little bit. But right now, I mean, Mets, I think they choked a lot. Like, there's no reason. You're in New York. You have one of the richest owners in the league, and you can't afford, $73 million for Edwin Diaz. You couldn't afford. I mean, yeah, I do get $155 million is a lot, but not for the Mets. Not for you bring in so much money because you're in New York. And I think that could be something that will come to backbite them eventually down the season or even towards the start of the season. I just don't know if this team can compete. Obviously, we saw them miss the playoffs with Alonso, with Diaz. Now they don't have them. They seem worse on paper. I mean, I could be totally wrong, but they seem worse on paper. And now you're thinking maybe it's a 60, 70 win team compared to what we thought could be an 80 or 90 win team. And it's something to think about for sure. I wanted to show you here. This was the projected lineup or was the lineup for opening day last year for the New York Mets. Cody Senga, did they get rid of him? Yeah, they did. Okay, that's that. They lose him. Cody Senga. You got Severino's gone too. Jeffrey Springs is gone. Man, they wow, they lost a lot of guys. Okay, interesting. But you see, Alonso's there. You say, oh yeah, they also lost Brandon Nimmo as well. They traded him. Acuna's not even in a starting role right now. Winker's not here. I mean, they've lost a lot. Iglesias is not here. Marte's not here. They've lost a lot of dudes from last year. And here is their projected lineup with Marcus Semien in the lineup. Their projected lineup here. You can see the GIF is Pete Alonso breaking his bat, but Lindor, Semien, Soto, Vientos, McNeil, Alvarez, Batty, Marcio, and Tyrone Taylor as your projected lineup. And I just, on paper, like, yeah, I mean, Semien he hasn't been as great as he probably should be. You know, it's interesting. I don't know how this team's going to go, but I do think you need a first baseman. The more and more I think about it here, as I'm even just thinking about it, looking at free first basemen available, there's 13 of them available right now in free agency. Rhys Hoskins, Nathaniel Lowe, just a veteran, to help. Even Ty France wouldn't even be bad. He's not good at bats wise, but he's good defensively. Carlos Santana, kind of same thing. Dominic Smith, Mark Canha, those guys. I mean, there's a lot of older first basemen, but for a 1-year rental and then maybe try to make a move for another first baseman at the trade deadline. Sure, you could go get, try to go get someone else, but I think that's the best option here. And then if you were to get some relief pitchers here, I mean, Kirby Yates comes to the top of the list. There's 60 available. So Jake Junis, Paul Sewald. I mean, there's a lot of dudes. There's a lot of dudes available. Chris Paddock technically could even be a relief pitcher for you. So they got options. Relief pitching, there's definitely options. There's many options. So yeah, I'm really interested to see, how they address this. When I say, is this team a contender? I say, heck no, bro. I'm sorry. You have to show me that you can win with this lineup before I say you're a contender, despite the other two teams who just stole your players and now are absolutely contenders. Obviously, the Dodgers are always going to be contenders, and now the Orioles making their team better with Pete Alonso. I really like it. First base was kind of a weak side for them. But yeah, let's talk about the Orioles. It's a great move for the Orioles. And by the way, they also had a trade happen today that we will break down for you right now. A trade that happened, like a couple hours ago. Shane Baz from the Tampa Bay Rays gets traded to the Baltimore Orioles for, I believe, 3 prospects and a pick. Outfielder, catcher, and a right-hander. Oh, and so 4 picks. Sorry, 4 prospects and a pick. The pick is to be determined, according to Jeff Passan. So yeah, I mean, very interesting trade. When you look at his numbers, 31 starts, 166 innings pitched last season. He gave up 90 runs, 90 earned runs, 91 runs, 26 home runs, 64 walks, but 176 strikeouts. So that he's a strikeout guy, and I feel like the Orioles do need a strikeout guy because obviously, I mean, you get rid of Grayson Rodriguez in that trade, so your pitching group now, adding of course Shane Baz, is now Kyle Bradish, Trevor Rogers, Dean Kramer, Tyler Wells, Cade Popovich, Brendan Young, but then you also add in what's his face, Baz. And I mean, I like the move. I like the move a lot. We'll talk about the Alonso move, but this makes your rotation a little bit deeper, and I like it. So it could be a Bradish, Rogers, Kramer, Wells. Popovich would be your starting 5 normally. Maybe now you put Wells in the bullpen. Maybe you put Kramer in the bullpen, or you maybe put Rogers in the bullpen. You could put any of your dudes in the bullpen, give you a good person that could give you a couple innings out of the bullpen if your pitchers have a bad day in Boz, or maybe Boz, yeah, could go in there. But I mean, I like the Boz move. Obviously, we're going to have to figure out. I don't really know much about him, so we will figure it out. But I mean, overall, 26 years old for a lot. Like they gave up 5 things, 4 players, and 1 draft pick, which I thought, hey, that's insane. That's insane. So hopefully he can live up to that not extension, expectation of, well, we're giving you 4 prospects from one of the best farm systems in the league, and a pick. Hopefully he's worth it, and hopefully he can help this Orioles team, which is already very good. But yeah, let's talk about the rest of this team. Ryan Hesley and Felix Batista, 2 insane closing pitchers. I like this. I like Kittleridge, Aiken, Cano. Those are the top guys in the bullpen, and they have a lot of other guys. Your catchers, obviously Adley Rutschman, and then Samuel, our man Samuel, younger guy, born in 2004. He's only a couple years older than me. Yeah, like Adley Rutschman, he took a little step back last year. I do think maybe he can take a step forward. I think he needs to take a step forward, but I like Adley Rutschman. I'm a huge fan of him. And then here we go. First base, one of the deeper first base cores now. You got Alonso, Mayo, Ryan Mountcastle. Alonso just brings a veteran to this team, and you needed it. If you have a bunch of young guys, now you have a good veteran you can lean on who's going to still perform, probably give you about 30 home runs as well. Colby Mayo could be a trade piece. I've heard rumors that the Twins might have a move for him or Ryan Mountcastle. But overall, you still have a very deep first base core who could also DH for you if you wish. Jackson Holiday is going to be your starting second baseman. You have Jordan Westburg as your backup, so also Jeremiah Jackson. Third base will be Westburg, though, with Mayo and Jackson also their backups. And then shortstop, obviously, Gunnar Henderson is your insane. Dude, I love watching Gunnar Henderson play. He's so fun to watch. And then you make some trades for Tyler Ward. That's who you get. I believe Tyler Ward was. Who did they trade Grayson Rodriguez for? Who did they trade? I keep forgetting who they traded Rodriguez for. If it was Ward or hold on. Yeah, Tyler Ward exchanged for right-hander Grayson Rodriguez. So they got in a left fielder who's going to be pretty good for them. You have Colton Cowser as your center fielder, and then Tyler O'Neill or Beavers as your right fielder, and then Tyler O'Neill is your DH right now. But Samuel, Mountcastle, Rutschman could all be your designated hitters as well. Overall, this team is really good. There's a lot to be excited if you're an Orioles fan. Pete Alonso, though, my goodness. I mean, I don't know, how you got Pete Alonso. I'm just insane. It's insane. 155 million too over the next 5 years is a good amount of money for Pete Alonso, who is how old is he? How old is he? Whoa. 1994? Oof. They sometimes have his age. I just can't do that math right now. But he's in his 30s, which is, pretty good. $31 million per year, basically. I'm trying to figure out how old he is. I'm trying to do that math in my head. I think he's 31, something like that. So he's making $31 million at 31 years old. That's pretty good for the next 5 years. You're under contract till you're 36. I mean, his career stats, he has almost hit 300 home runs. He hit almost 40 home runs last season. That's also the thing. He had such a good season last year, and then the Mets just let him walk. It's kind of crazy. He hit 1 home run, though, in his last 7 games or so. His career stats, he's been in the league since 2019 only. Really? Dang, he must have. So what? 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. 24 years. So he was 24 when he made his debut. Dang, that I feel like he's been in the league forever, but no, he's kind of right in his prime too. That makes things even worse. You're basically in your prime, and you just get sold for $31 million. It is insane. In his minors, when did he start playing in the minors? 2016. Okay, cool. And he got moved around quite a bit. Interesting. But yeah, the last couple seasons, he's hit 34 and 38 home runs, and then 2 seasons ago, he hit 46 home runs and then 40 home runs. So, he's in that 38 to 40 home runs a season still, and that's going to just give you that extra little, hopefully, nudge and help. He's a veteran as well. How many home runs did the Orioles hit last year? I wanted to see. So, if you add like the 38, they hit 191 last season. That is not what I wanted. I think they hit almost 200 home runs. That's insane. And then you add in more, and you're almost hitting 250 home runs, basically. The Orioles, hit. Da-da, doesn't show you. So I gotta plan a little bit better when I try to open all the windows I'm gonna use, but it sometimes just doesn't happen. But anyway, Pete Alonso, great addition, and obviously I was talking, is this team a contender? Oh yeah. I mean, how can you say this team isn't a contender? It's a great move by the Orioles. Getting Baz also today is very interesting. It throws them in the mix for sure in American League. That I don't know. I don't know what the stronger league is right now, the AL or the NL, but I'm expecting the Orioles to be one of the top teams, probably top 3 teams in the AL, maybe even in the MLB with this move. Hopefully everybody stays healthy. Maybe there's some more moves coming up to make the bullpen or make the pitching rotation a little bit deeper. But I mean, I like this move for the Orioles. And then there were the Dodgers. And we're going to talk about, do we even have to play this season? Because it's all well and great. It's great. It's great that we can talk about the Orioles' future and how excited I am for their season and how bad the Mets are. But when you have a team that's gone back to back with no salary cap, and they continue to add top players in the league, the Dodgers are basically an all-star team. So before we talk about that, who's on this team now after the signing? Well, you just add you keep everybody, and then you add EDWIN DIAZ. This team won back-to-back World Series. Snell, Yamamoto, Glasnow, Ohtani, Sasaki. Basically, that's your starting rotation. In your bullpen, you had boys like Vessa, Scott, Graytrall, I can never say his name right, Trenning, Klein. Now you add in EDWIN DIAZ, Will Smith, Dalton Rushing, Freddie Freeman, Tommy Edman, Rojas, Muncy, Betts, Kim, Pajes, Hernandez, Call, Edman, Ohtani. This team is a super team. It's an all-star team. And they just got another great player in EDWIN DIAZ. Someone who can close out games. That was their one need. Their one need was a closer pitcher. They could not get games closed out. They had to have Yamamoto close out the World Series, even though he had just pitched the night before, because they had nobody in their bullpen. Well, now they fixed that. They can rely on Diaz, who maybe won't have a good day every day, but most of the time, I guarantee over 85% of the time, he will have a good rate. He'll close out a bunch of darn games. He might close out every single game at Dodger Stadium. They might go undefeated. I'm kidding. No one's going to go undefeated in MLB. But I'm just saying, EDWIN DIAZ, welcome to championship land. Here on this slide, I say 24 Dodgers, 25 Dodgers, 2026 Dodgers. They're three-peating no matter what. I don't even think we have to play this season. Write it down. The Dodgers will win the 2026 World Series. Because I just don't see any way until they figure out that the MLB needs a salary cap that the Dodgers are just going to keep on winning. Now, there's supposed to be a salary cap coming up very soon, which I'm hoping it's going to be good. Because then you don't have teams like the Dodgers or, the Mets could have done the same thing, but they chose not to. Where the owners make so much money in LA. The owners make so much money in New York. where they can just pay all these players and they don't lose money. They got to fix it, baseball. Come on, baseball. You got to fix it. You got to fix it. But you can't fix it. You're not fixing it right now. So therefore, in my opinion, the LA Dodgers are going to win the 2026 World Series. I'm predicting it here December 19th, 2025. And when we stand in the postseason, when we stand on opening day, I will continue. I will continue to say that. Unless something absolutely crazy happens, the Dodgers are going to win. And they're a dynasty because the MLB will not change the salary cap rules. Will they after this season? Maybe, maybe not. But if you guys are mad at baseball that the Dodgers keep winning, this is not like, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs who were getting help from the refs. It's just the league. Anybody could do what the Dodgers are doing. But they choose not to. So therefore, the Dodgers are going to keep winning because they have all the money they can get. And you know what helps them even more? Because they keep winning, people will keep going to their games and keep getting the money. So they get more money, and then using that money, they can pay the players. All right? So chill. And that's why I say, do we even have to play this season? Let's just give them the rings already. And then change the salary cap. And then we'll see. Then we'll see where the Dodgers are. See who they can afford. Because I'm telling you, there's no salary cap in baseball. You got to fix that. MLB, you got to fix that. But yeah, what an episode today. I know it's a little shorter episode from what we've normally been doing, but hey, it's still a good episode. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed it. Coming up this next week here on Inside the Zone with Mateo, what each team wants for Christmas, NHL, NBA, NFL, MLB. We'll talk about especially the Minnesota teams in each of those leagues on a couple days throughout the week next week of what do the Vikings want, what do the Timberwolves want, what do the Wild want, what do the Twins want. We'll talk about it. We'll dedicate one day of the next couple of days, so probably the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and 25th, talking about what those teams want for Christmas. We'll talk about a couple other teams in those leagues as well. On Christmas Day, we will also have our NFL Weekly Show, Week 17 of the NFL. We'll be there as soon as we know it. I think coming out then the week after Christmas, so like the 28th through 31st or something like that, we'll do some of these things. We will redraft the last 5 NBA drafts. We will do some more Kingdom competitors, which I'm filming currently now, and we'll post them on Sundays, on every couple Sundays, so stay tuned for that. And NBA Christmas games preview on Christmas, we'll do that. And also we'll power rank who's still out there in the MLB free agency. So much more coming to you here in the month of December, trying to grow the YouTube channel. So if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bell button on so you never ever miss an episode. And also, just the first episode of season 2, 2026 is season 2. Basically, we just do a year for each season. First episode will be our 2026 prediction show, where I will make predictions for the entire year of 2026. So great way to start off 2026. So that is still to come on January 1st, or maybe we'll even do to close up season 1 on the 31st of December. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me over there on Spotify. I post almost all my episodes on Spotify as of recent. So hopefully you guys go over there as well. But yeah, most importantly, subscribe on YouTube. And I really hope you guys did enjoy today's episode. And yeah, just have a wonderful day. Have a great rest of your weekend. And don't forget to keep God first, because He is the most important thing in your lives. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.